Men, let me tell you something I have learned after more than 15 years as a urologist working with men and women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. The number one complaint I hear from women over 60 is not about size, stamina, or performance. It is something far simpler and more human. When I reveal what it is, many men are surprised, some even a little embarrassed that they never realized it sooner. Yet this small but powerful truth is quietly shaping the state of intimacy in countless relationships. I am Dr. Sophie Clarke, and what I want to share with you today is not just medical knowledge, but wisdom collected from the voices of older women, women who have loved deeply, remained loyal, and still long for connection in ways many men never notice. Every week, I meet men who walk into my clinic looking defeated. They sit down, clear their throats, and admit they are worried. They talk about fading desire, weaker erections, or a sense that something essential has gone missing. They assume the solution must be physical, a pill, a procedure, a hormone boost. And while sometimes those things help, many times their test results come back perfectly fine. Their testosterone is adequate, their blood flow acceptable, their prostate not severely enlarged. So I ask them a question that takes them by surprise. How is your relationship? How does your partner feel? How often do you touch her just because you want to, not because you want sex? How often do you sit with her, hold her hand, and ask how she feels about being close to you? Usually the room goes silent, because most men have never been asked that. And deep down, many realize they do not really know the answer. Here is the truth older women have been telling me for years, sometimes through tears. They do not expect you to perform like you did at 30. They are not keeping score of how long you last. What they want is something more intimate and more meaningful. They want presence. They want to feel seen, heard, and valued. They want tenderness. They want to know that when you touch them, it is not just about desire, but about affection and appreciation. One 72-year-old woman once looked at me and said, "I do not care if he can get hard anymore. I just want him to hold me the way he used to. I want him to look at me like I still matter." That sentence has stayed with me because it captures the emotional hunger that so many women in long relationships quietly live with. And it reveals what true intimacy is really built on: connection, not performance. Real intimacy after 60 is about empathy, patience, and emotional availability. It is about understanding that your partner's needs have evolved just as yours have. Connection requires effort, and that effort starts with attention. So let us talk about what this looks like in real life, how to bring warmth and closeness back into a relationship that may have drifted toward habit, silence, or distance over the years. First, slow down. This may sound almost too basic, but it matters more than you might think. When you were younger, everything about love and desire felt fast arousal, fast reactions, fast release. But now both your body and hers have changed. Her skin is more delicate, her tissues need more time and care to awaken, and her body responds to emotional cues as much as physical ones. Rushing through affection, even unintentionally, can make her feel unseen or dismissed. When you slow down, when you touch with patience, when you look at her without hurry, you are saying something profound. I am not in a rush. I want to be here with you. That single message can transform how she feels in your arms. Her body relaxes, her mind feels safe, and her heart opens. The intimacy that follows may not be about speed or intensity, but it will be deeper, more tender, and more connected than you remember. Second, show affection without expecting anything in return. This is one of the most common complaints I hear from women. Too many men only touch their partner when they want to initiate sex. Over time, she learns to brace herself whenever you reach for her because she senses the agenda behind the gesture. And slowly, she begins to pull away. Not because she does not love you, but because she is tired of feeling that affection always comes with strings attached. So change the script. Touch her just to touch her. Stroke her arm as you pass by. Kiss her on the forehead before bed. Hug her for no reason. These small, unpressured gestures remind her that she is valued not as a source of satisfaction, but as a person you cherish. It rebuilds the sense of safety and closeness that allows genuine desire to return naturally without pressure or guilt. When she feels safe and appreciated, her body and mind respond in ways no medication can reproduce. Third, ask her what she needs now. Bodies change, hormones shift. What felt good 20 years ago may not feel good today. Yet many couples never talk about these changes. Instead, they keep doing what once worked, growing increasingly frustrated when it no longer does. So have the courage to ask her gently and sincerely what feels good to her now, what she misses, what helps her feel connected to you. These conversations can feel awkward at first, but they are essential. And when she opens up, resist the urge to defend or explain. Just listen. Listen with the goal of understanding, not fixing, because in that moment she is offering you something rare, a window into her inner world. If you honor that vulnerability, if you treat her honesty as a gift, you build a bridge that no physical limitation can destroy. Taking care of your own body is another critical piece of this puzzle. I cannot emphasize this enough. Your ability to love well, both physically and emotionally, depends on your health. When you neglect your body, when you stop moving, eat poorly, drink too much, or ignore medical issues, it does not just affect you, it affects her. She notices your fatigue, your shortness of breath, your lack of energy. It makes her worry. It can even make her feel rejected, as though you no longer care enough to show up for her. So think of your health as an act of love. Go for a walk together, drink more water, eat foods that support your heart and circulation, manage your stress. Every time you do, you are telling her, I want to be here for you. I want to stay strong for you. That is not vanity. That is devotion in its purest form. Let me pause here because everything we have discussed so far leads to one powerful realization. Intimacy in your later years is not about trying to reclaim youth. It is about embracing maturity with grace and awareness. The goal is not to perform like a younger man, but to love like a wiser one, a man who understands that connection is built through patience, gentleness, and genuine attention. A man who knows that his partner's desire begins long before the bedroom, in the way he listens, the way he touches, and the way he cares for himself. Another key piece of advice I give to men, and that older women echo again and again, is to bring vulnerability back into the relationship. Many men, especially those raised in generations that valued toughness and stoicism, learned early on to hide emotion. They were taught to be protectors, not sharers, problem solvers, not feelers. But the truth is, vulnerability is not weakness, it is courage. And for many women, emotional openness is one of the most powerful forms of intimacy. When you allow your partner to see who you really are, your fears, your regrets, your dreams, your longing, you give her something no performance ever could, the sense that you trust her completely. You show her that she matters not just as a companion, but as the person you turn to when you need comfort. Women tell me they miss that connection. They miss deep conversations that used to happen during long drives or quiet evenings. They miss hearing about what is really going on inside their partner's heart. When men retreat emotionally, women feel alone even when they share the same bed. They begin to wonder if their partner still cares, still wants them, or still sees them. So let her in. Tell her when you feel uncertain or tired. Share memories. Talk about what you hope for the years ahead. The more open you are, the more she will feel drawn to you. Emotional honesty rekindles admiration, respect, and desire because it shows that you are brave enough to be real. Now, I know some men worry that vulnerability will make them seem less masculine, but what I see over and over again is the opposite. When you share yourself honestly, you invite her to do the same. The walls that may have built up between you start to fall. You stop living as two people managing routines and start living as partners again, two people growing, changing, and exploring together. And that shared openness becomes the foundation for deeper connection in every area, including physical intimacy. Let us talk honestly about performance. Many men over 60 quietly carry the fear that they can no longer satisfy their partner because of changes in sexual function. Erections may not be as reliable, stamina may not be what it once was, and desire may ebb and flow. This can be deeply frustrating, but it does not have to define you. The truth is, the women I talk to are far less concerned about this than men imagine. What matters to them is not perfection, it is effort. They want to know that you still want them, that you still find them beautiful, that you still care enough to try. They want to feel your warmth, your attention, your curiosity. There are many ways to stay physically close that do not depend on performance. Holding each other, touching skin to skin, kissing slowly, giving and receiving pleasure without pressure, these things build connection. When you stop measuring intimacy by what your body can or cannot do, and instead focus on how present you are, everything changes. Many couples find that when the pressure is gone, their physical connection actually improves. The body follows the mind, and when both partners feel safe, arousal and pleasure often return naturally. Medical science supports this. Blood flow, nerve sensitivity, and hormonal balance all improve with healthy habits and reduce stress. But what really drives desire is emotional closeness. When you look at her with appreciation, when you listen to her stories, when you share laughter and memories, your brain releases chemicals that strengthen affection and attraction. This is not fantasy, it is physiology. Intimacy thrives when connection is real, when your mind and heart are involved, not just your body. Another point many men overlook is the importance of maintaining curiosity. Too often, long term couples assume they already know everything about each other. But people continue to change. Her needs, her fantasies, her fears, even her body sensations evolve with time. Staying curious keeps your relationship alive. Ask her what she enjoys now, what makes her feel beautiful, what kind of moments make her feel closest to you. You might discover sides of her you have never known. And when she sees that you still want to explore her world, it reignites her sense of being desired. The same goes for small acts of romance. You do not have to buy grand gifts or plan elaborate gestures. What matters most is thoughtfulness. Write her a note, bring her coffee in bed. Compliment her sincerely, not out of habit, but because you still notice her. Tell her what you admire about the woman she has become, the strength, the wisdom, the humor. When you reflect those qualities back to her, you remind her that she is seen and that the bond between you is not built on youth, but on shared life. Taking care of yourself also means taking responsibility for your mental and emotional well-being. Depression, anxiety, and stress can all diminish libido and connection. Many men ignore these issues, thinking they are just part of getting older. But the truth is, mental health is just as important as physical health in maintaining intimacy. If you are feeling disconnected, fatigued, or withdrawn, do not be afraid to seek help. Talk to your doctor, your therapist, or your partner. There is strength in acknowledging when something feels off. And when you work on healing yourself, you are also healing your relationship. Remember, your partner does not want a perfect man. She wants a present one. She wants the man who looks her in the eye and makes her feel safe, valued, and desired. When you slow down, when you touch her without expectation, when you take care of your body, when you open your heart, you become that man. You become the partner she has been longing for, not the younger version of yourself, but the wiser, more compassionate one who understands what truly matters. Let us take a moment to talk about what happens when you begin to apply all these changes. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. You might hesitate before opening up or feel uncertain about how to start a deeper conversation. She might even react with surprise, wondering what has changed. That is completely normal. Intimacy in long-term relationships does not transform overnight. But every time you choose to show up differently, to slow down, to listen, to touch her with warmth instead of urgency, you plant a seed of trust. Over time, those small choices rebuild the closeness that might have quietly faded through years of routine, stress, or unspoken disappointment. When couples in their later years rediscover this kind of connection, something remarkable happens. They stop seeing aging as decline and start seeing it as evolution. The body may move differently, but the heart becomes wiser. Conversations grow richer, laughter deeper, and affection more intentional. Many men tell me that once they let go of the pressure to perform, they finally began to enjoy intimacy again. It became playful instead of stressful, tender instead of mechanical. They found themselves looking forward to the quiet moments, the shared bath, the slow dance in the kitchen, the gentle touch before sleep, because those moments held more meaning than anything that happened in their youth. I have seen couples in their 70s rediscover each other as if they were falling in love for the first time. What changed was not their bodies, it was their mindset. They replaced performance anxiety with curiosity. They traded shame for honesty. They stopped measuring love by intensity and started measuring it by presence. And that shift opened doors to emotional and physical satisfaction they thought were gone forever. Now, if you are listening to this and thinking that it sounds too ideal, let me reassure you, this is real. I have witnessed it countless times in my practice, but it does require effort. It means making daily choices that say, I value you. It means asking questions instead of assuming. It means choosing kindness when frustration creeps in. It means remembering that love is not static. It must be nurtured, fed, and protected. So what does that look like day to day? It can be as simple as taking a walk together after dinner instead of watching television in silence. It can be sitting close and holding hands even when there is nothing to say. It can be looking at her when she speaks, giving her your full attention instead of glancing at your phone. It can be offering small compliments, telling her she looks beautiful, or that you appreciate how she cares for you. Those words may seem small, but they carry enormous weight. They remind her that she still matters, that she is still loved, that the connection between you is alive. And yes, there will be times when frustration or doubt returns. That is part of being human. But do not let those moments make you retreat. Instead, see them as reminders to slow down again, to talk, to reach out. Every couple has challenges, especially as they age. Health changes, energy shifts, responsibilities evolve. But within those changes is the opportunity to grow closer, not apart. I want you to remember something vital. Intimacy does not belong to the young. It belongs to the attentive, a man who listens, who shows affection without expectation, who takes care of his body and his heart. That man will always be desirable. Because what women over 60, 70, and beyond truly want is not a perfect body or endless stamina. They want to feel emotionally safe. They want to feel seen. They want to know that their partner still chooses them every day. When you give her that, when you show up fully with tenderness and patience, she will meet you there. Her eyes will soften, her laughter will return, and her body will respond with trust. The kind of love that grows in those moments is not about youth or appearance. It is about connection, friendship, and shared presence. It is about the comfort of knowing that even as time changes everything else, the bond between you remains unshakable. So tonight or tomorrow or whenever you feel ready, I want you to try something. Sit beside your partner, take her hand, and simply say, "What do you need from me? What would make you feel loved right now?" Then listen. Listen with your heart, not just your ears. Do not interrupt, defend, or explain. Just hear her. Because when you do that, you are giving her the greatest gift you can offer, your presence. And when she feels that, everything begins to change. Love after 60 is not a lesser version of love. It is wiser, deeper, and infinitely more meaningful. It asks for patience, honesty, and compassion, but it rewards you with peace, joy, and connection that no quick fix could ever provide. So do not give up on intimacy, and do not assume that your best years are behind you. They are not. They are waiting for you to show up with awareness, with care, and with the willingness to love differently, to love better. Because when you do, something extraordinary happens. Touch becomes more powerful than words. Conversation becomes foreplay. Trust replaces fear. And the years ahead become not a slow decline, but a beautiful chapter filled with understanding, laughter, and tenderness. Your body may change, but your capacity to love deeply only grows. And that, more than anything else, is what keeps intimacy alive for a lifetime.